Morning. I woke up just a few minutes ago and I was just thinking, I was like, I used to make some of these videos like right after I woke up. And I think it's probably because I've got as much energy as I'm going to have in the day. And sometimes, upon reflection, when I'm writing in my journal, like I just realize some things. And today, I had a message come to me that I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great message. All I want to do is I want to help you guys, all right? I want to help myself, right? But I also want to help you guys. These videos, they're extremely therapeutic for me. They're cathartic, you could say. But often they just help me come to a realization or, give me something to mull over because I'm like, I want to bring some sort of positive sentiment to the world. How can I do that? I already do that with my interactions with people in the day-to-day. I'm overtly positive like 90% of the time. I don't have to hit a 100% yet. I mean, maybe later in my life I'll fill in that last 10% of being mad at the illusory world that I construct in my head. But not today. So anyway, I love you and I really want you to do well. And I think probably the most important piece of advice or sentiment that I've kind of come across that has allowed me to enjoy the present moment is to focus on not making it to the top of the mountain, but on how you're climbing the mountain. Is the way that you're going through your life actually enjoyable? I guess in the Western world, we think a lot about retirement, which seems reasonable, right? Like, that's the way of the physical world is to have enough physical wealth to be able to retire. But I think something greater than that is having satisfaction in the present moment. Because we're only ever going to experience the present moment. We can experience the past, but we use our present moment to think about the past and bring up the emotions that are tied to the past, these associations that we built with it. Nobody else's fault that we think a certain way. It's all our fault, okay? So you look at the past either negatively or positively or neutrally. That would be ideal. But you use the present moment to do that. And it's the same thing with the future. So like we have this culture where it's like, all right, well, deny your happiness now. Limit your happiness now. Climb with only one of your two arms so that you can get down once you reach the top of the mountain, which I guess would be retirement. Only then can you be happy. But then you're not even climbing anymore, right? You're supposed to just get there and then be happy. You're like delaying your happiness so that you'll be guaranteed happiness down the road. And you're not guaranteed it at all. So, yeah, I think that's it. Just think about how you're climbing. There's so much to look forward to in life. And, if you're feeling like there isn't, then probably do a little bit of a gratitude thing. Like do a gratitude journal every day when you wake up. You don't have to list things. Just like write to yourself. Like say things you're like, or things that you would like that for yourself to believe. Or sentiments that you've come to believe recently, or I don't know, just do some sort of mindfulness practice, some sort of thing that reminds you that like this life is meant to be enjoyed. It's not supposed to be a labor. And if you believe it's supposed to be a labor, then I think you have some self-inquiry to do, to figure out, well, why do I believe that? Am I scared of believing the alternative? Am I scared that wow, life has the meaning that I give to it, and that if I'm feeling negative about this stuff, it's because I've been spending a lot of my time, pretty much all of my present moments, thinking about how this is miserable, or it's not ideal, or whatever it is, thinking it is this way, and that way makes it so I can't be happy. That's just an externalization of your own power, really. To say like, oh, well, my circumstances dictate my happiness. I'm not saying like that's easy. It's easy to do that. It's logical to do that. I understand that. But as someone who's gone from being in the position that I'm describing you as someone who's dictated by their circumstances, to someone who doesn't really do that, there are times where I find that stuff happens in my life and I have a reaction, but then I don't get mad at myself for having that reaction, or I don't try to force myself to have a different perspective. I just understand that my perceptions are my own. And when something happens, I get to observe how my initial reaction is, and then I get to choose how I'd like to feel. And sometimes I'll even return to the past. I'll use my present moment to return to the past, a moment where I had a lot of very positive feelings of great trust in others and in life and in myself, most importantly, just so that I can experience a more pleasant present moment and realize I literally can control my emotions. But it's so easy for us to say, well, our circumstances in the exterior world are what dictate that, because it's always coming in. You always have like more and more like stimulus from the world, whether you're just looking around and like taking in visual stimuli, which is always constantly triggering your memory, or you're having a brand new circumstance happen that you're not familiar with, so you're scared of the unknown, so you don't have like an overtly positive like view of a new situation. You always think it's something that could hold danger. Like it's, you kind of just have to practice this self-inquiry to figure out like, why do I view things the way that I do? And then you realize, well, it's because it's easier for me to do it that way, or I've done it that way my whole life, or I'm promising myself a better future but then like limiting my present now. I don't know, man. The message of this video is that I love you, and I want you to think about how you're going through your life. Are you letting your emotions and your circumstances just flow in a way that you don't like? Or are you allowing it to happen? Allow it to happen. Watch it happen. Be like, wow, this is something that's entertaining and reveals more to me about myself. So think about how you're climbing rather than, all right, well, I'll be happy once I get to the destination. Like, there's so many expressions about, like, the traveler being the journey rather than the actual, like, oh, I made it there, and now I'm everything I'm meant to be. Well, if you spent the whole journey thinking that you didn't have to make any progress outside of, like, making money every month, then you're going to be pretty miserable when you get there, because the only skill you'll have practiced is success by the standards of the world, rather than what does happiness and success look like to you? So yeah, I guess think about what happiness looks like to you and live in the present moment. And yeah, anyway, I love you. Take care of yourself, okay?